on the line. You're in Virginia, right, Jeff?
Yeah, Charlottesville.
Calling out of Charlottesville VA. Ooh. He's hitting us with some college basketball love tonight.
Kind of rural out there.
Charlottesville?
Yeah, it is. We used to live in Lynchburg. My dad used to live. He had a church in Lynchburg and Martinsville, Virginia.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, I know about that area.
All right. Welcome to the show. He is Jeff Bogard. He follows college basketball like no one else.
Okay.
But mostly that's because he's a Virginia fan.
Ooh, so I know who he's picking.
Yeah, so probably if Virginia wasn't so good, he probably wouldn't be so big of a fan. But he's here tonight. He's going to talk about these brackets with us and help us get a beat on the tournament. Jeff, what's up, man? How's it going?
All right, pretty good. A little scared about Virginia's first round game, but otherwise.
Slow down, Jeff. Slow down, Jeff. We got some pleasantries to go through before you start, giving out all the info.
All right.
You know what I mean? Okay, so you're in Charlottesville. What teams do you follow? What are your favorite teams? I know you like the Cincinnati Reds for some reason.
I like the Cincinnati Reds. I like the Dallas Cowboys. I like the Boston Celtics, Boston Bruins, and Virginia.
Okay. All right, that's kind of why. How'd you end up being a Celtics and a Bruins fan, though?
I grew up with Larry Bird and Dennis Johnson and Kevin McHale and the Boston heyday and the Bruins. I've just always liked the way the Bruins play. So
okay.
And there's no hockey team in Virginia, so he can probably pick whoever he wants. I say nothing about somebody that lives in a place that doesn't have a sport, and they can pick anywhere from the west to the east coast.
That is very true. What's the best site for bracket?
What's that now?
What's the best site for bracket? ESPN?
Either one. ESPN, CBS.
Oh, you got your printed bracket.
Yeah, brother.
You ain't print nothing for me.
Oh, I printed one out today.
Oh, man.
I still have to print one out, but I looked at the bracket and got some ideas of where I'm going with it.
All right. Let's start with the East. I'm still online trying to find a bracket. So Joe, go ahead, take.
All right, we can start. I'm pretty excited about this East region over here. There's a lot that's going on. The first thing being, we've got there's a potential Coach K versus Johnny Dawkins matchup that could happen. The teacher versus the pupil, and actually Rick Pitino's son will be facing Louisville
without his dad.
Yeah, without his dad, but I'm sure he'll be in the film room with him. So that's a pretty cool thing that can happen there.
His dad is probably helping him scout that game.
Oh, no doubt. He knows Louisville in and out. Trust me, he knows all the recruits. They're going to be ready for that. What did you think about this East Division? Who do you see kind of coming out of here? Do you see any upsets that might be looming here in the East Division?
I don't see anybody beating Duke. Duke is just too good. They went to Williamson back. He went 13 for 13 in the first game back, and he's just a beast. And I would like to see Virginia Tech play Duke. That could be an intriguing game, but otherwise, I don't see really anybody coming out of it but Duke.
Because Virginia Tech got Duke in the regular season when Zion was down, right? Didn't they beat them?
Right.
Yeah, so that could be
interesting. Got hurt, and when Robinson got hurt, that kind of threw Virginia Tech for a loop.
Okay. So no upsets. You don't think there'll be any upsets in this division? I have a question though. There's a couple games that I'm on the fence with. This Maryland Belmont game kind of has me a little twisted. Now Belmont has to play Temple to play their way into that 11th seed, but who do you see? Go ahead.
Belmont could be one of the sleepers. They're one of my sleepers.
Yeah, Belmont is they caught my eye, so I can see them playing their way in and doing some damage. Do you think they can beat Maryland?
I hope so, because I don't like Maryland because they left the ACC, and anybody that can beat Maryland, I'm happy with.
Okay.
And Belmont, if they get hard, I think Maryland can't stop them.
Okay. Okay. So all right. So we're gonna break it down like this. So in this East Division here, tell me who you think will make the Sweet 16 in the East, and then your final two, and then whoever you think will make it. Well, you said Duke will probably make it at the end of the day, but who do you have in the Sweet 16 in the East Division?
One of the first four in the East now.
The first four, you got Duke, you got LSU, Michigan State, and Virginia Tech.
Duke, LSU, Michigan State, and I think they should get to the final 8.
Okay. Okay. All right. So,
and I'm not sure who's going to get the other one.
Okay. So you got Duke sliding
I
into
like the LSU. I like the LSU. They kind of ran into a roadblock in the SEC tournament, but they're pretty good. Their coach kind of screwed them over, so you know, he got to do them out there to hang. But I think if they can get by that, they could be a Final Four.
And one of their best players had to sit down too.
They could possibly beat Duke, but I don't think so. I don't think Duke is too strong.
Yeah, Duke. See, the thing about Duke, they had moments where I thought they were beatable this year, and they still are to a certain extent. I'm a little concerned with them when they run into somebody with a zone and somebody that packs the middle of the floor and makes them shoot jump shots because they don't really hit the three as consistently as they should. But it's something about the way Coach K gets his teams ready for the tournament. The way they won this tournament, the championship, they're going to be playing on another level.
Now, they did play 3 games this season against the best zone in the country and beat them twice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, there's something else to be said there because Coach K knows Coach Boeheim so well. And vice versa. So with that, you know, there is no shock. This is why you should consider that Duke, if they're not able to outshoot the zone, they are very versed in passing around the zone.
Yeah. Because
Coach K understands that zone so well because he was taught literally by Boeheim the entire system. And you saw he employed that system last year, Coach K did, for a deep run where they played exclusively Boeheim zone exclusively. Okay, so you know, Duke might be ready for the zone. Yeah.
Now, Duke, one other weakness that they might have, they've got to stay out of foul trouble. They do not have a lot of depth.
Yes.
So that's the only Achilles heel for them. But I don't see anybody really beating them in this East Division, to be honest with you.
So
there's one team to look out for is Michigan State.
Okay.
They beat Michigan 3 times this year, and if Winston gets healthy, he's going to be unstoppable.
Okay. Any chance that Yale moves on out of this bracket?
Yeah, Yale is one that has, like, they got 17 players that play, 7 players that play, or something like that.
I heard Yale sold one of their spots. So
listen, if they're giving out points for having the best GPA in the tournament, then Yale will definitely will be in there. But I don't think.
I heard Yale sold a spot to an actress's kid, so they might not have a. Like, who's this 5'5" dude at the end of the bench?
Now, this
team that I really think, team that people are going to overlook, that's going to probably make the Sweet 16, in my opinion, is Buffalo.
Really?
Buffalo. Okay.
Buffalo is a blue-collar team. They get down, they dive after balls, they will fight you and stuff, and they're good.
Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the West because you just left the East and you went to the West, Jeff. So we'll follow you to the West region.
Sorry.
No problem. I know how you are, Jeff.
Jeff is ready. I've had enough of this East.
Jeff goes he just rolls. He goes from one team to another just like that.
The East thing is done. Let's go. I'm ready.
All right. Gonzaga is the number 1 seed. Are you a believer in Gonzaga to the Final Four, Jeff?
No, I think it's because they don't play anybody.
Okay.
And, but they did beat Duke this year, though.
Yeah.
Early.
And that was big because Duke was playing well then.
Now, at the time, Duke was playing well, but it wasn't. Again, at that point of the season, you're dealing with Gonzaga, which is all upperclassmen. Okay? early in the season, they're all upperclassmen on that Gonzaga team. Duke's team, their
Right.
best players are all newbies. So it's not necessarily a fair fight. The Duke that you have now, after a year, is significantly different than the Duke that was out in October and November. Now, the question is with Gonzaga, they did beat Duke, but it wasn't the same Duke as right now. What Jeff is saying is that they really don't really play much competition, obviously, in their conference. That's why they schedule those big games early on. So you're not a believer in Hachimura and, the veteran squad that Gonzaga has.
No, because like I said, what was their closer quad against the top teams this year?
Yeah, I still lean toward Gonzaga. I'm not going to say they're going to go to the Final Four, but them beating Duke full strength, and Duke was full strength, the way it happened, like they took it to them. It wasn't like Duke was making a whole lot of mistakes. They were balling. Like, so they're very capable of making a deep run. Will they make a deep run? We already know.
What was their record against the top 25?
I don't have that in front of me, but do you remember?
No, I can check it out.
We'll look it up.
I don't even know if they played many top 25, though.
Probably not a lot, but
they really wasn't tested. You know what I mean?
right. I agree with you, but to not really be tested and then pull that off the way they beat them, I was like, man, that's pretty impressive. I know they're capable of doing it, but remember, traditionally Gonzaga in the tournament, they always disappoint. They always disappoint.
Well, I don't know. It depends on how you look at it, because they're a mid-major. And it's just that they've elevated their status to beyond mid-major, but the fact is they're a mid-major.
Yeah, but we always look for them to do something. And I mean, I've looked at my bracket several times over my bracket career and been like, what was I thinking? Yeah.
What's the top 4 teams in the West?
Top 4 teams, you got Gonzaga, Florida State was number 4, Texas Tech is number 3, and Michigan is number 2. Now, Michigan, I really like.
Michigan in that bunch.
I like Michigan, and I always say this when I'm picking my brackets. Number 1, I love guard play, because that carries a long way in the tournament, and also being able to shoot the 3. But then there are some coaches that are just, their whole style, their entire system is suited for the tournament. And Beeline's team is always ready for the tournament. They're ready to make a run. So I really like.
They get this big guy, Tubowski, I think is his name.
Yes.
He's good.
Yeah, so they're gonna be tuned up and ready to go. How are you? Who do you see coming out of this West division here?
Probably Michigan.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely not Gonzaga. Who do you think Gonzaga loses to?
Gonzaga 1 and 2 versus top 25 for the season. Their win was versus Duke. Their losses to Tennessee 76-73 and to North Carolina 103-90.
Okay, so with the exception of the North Carolina game, they kept it pretty close.
Yeah.
So they can definitely compete, but they are ripe for the picking.
Well, listen, they got a player. They always have a player. And not only do they have a player, but they have depth around that player. So I wouldn't be shocked if they actually do something, because it means a lot to have veteran players and to have a special player. Hachimura is a special player, likely top 10, top 15 pick. So.
Yeah. So I got a quick question for you. Do you see Gonzaga losing to Syracuse? Because I have Syracuse beating Baylor, the number 8 beating the number 9, and then bumping into Gonzaga. Do you think they lose to Syracuse, or maybe eventually Florida State, or who do you see them going down to?
See, I like Baylor over Syracuse.
Okay.
And I like Florida State as a sleeper too.
Yeah, Florida State I like a lot.
In the tournament, they started playing either over their head, or they started playing the way that they're supposed to be playing from the beginning of the year. You really don't know, but they're an all-around good team, I think.
Okay, so you see for the final 8. So you think that Michigan will definitely be in that final 8. Who is Michigan gonna beat to make it to the final 4? Who do you see?
They would have to play
Florida
Florida
State?
State, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably that's gonna be tough, but probably I see Michigan making it to the final 8.
Okay. And then to the Final Four?
Yes, he picked Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
I like that.
All right. Let's go on to the South region.
Who do you like out of the South to the Final Four?
That's Virginia, right?
Yes.
I like Oregon.
Oh.
You're going against your Cavs.
Ooh. Oregon.
Well, I think that Virginia is streaky. They're really good defensively. They got a good bench, but they can be really streaky on the offense. And when they're off, And I think Gardner-Webb could actually beat them. Gardner-Webb is a pretty good team.
Whoa, Jeff,
And,
I got to stop you for a second because you just said something that was historic. You're saying a 16 seed Gardner-Webb is going to be the 1 seed Virginia, or can?
Look what happened last year.
Okay.
And see, what happens is if a team like Maryland, Baltimore County, or team like Gardner-Webb can pull Virginia out to where their defense is like spread out, Virginia don't do well. And that's what happened with Maryland, Baltimore County last year. They spread Virginia's defense out, and they just ran all over them. They beat them by like 20-some points, you know?
Huh. Interesting.
So who's going to the Final Four out of the South?
What are the 4 seeds? I didn't look at the
okay.
bracket yet.
We got Virginia as the 1 seed.
The top 4 seeds.
Virginia is a 1 seed. Tennessee is a 2 seed.
Purdue 3.
Purdue
And Kansas State 4.
and K-State. But Villanova's also in this bracket.
I'm not sure about Villanova.
Yeah, you can never count them out. Oregon is in this bracket.
I like Purdue. I like Tennessee. Depending on what team showed up, I mean, they just choked in the finals against Auburn, but they played really well all year. So they were number 1 for quite a while. And let's see, I tell you, sleeper out of that is UCLA.
Damn, you picking?
They could be Loyola of Chicago from last year.
Okay.
Yes, it's a possibility. But Villanova has struggled this year. They started out really slow, then they turned it on, and then the coach actually had to switch the whole team dynamic around to make another run. So they are vulnerable because this is kind of an off year in recruiting for them too. So nobody really expected them to
I
be
mean,
there.
you can't just go on a run like they went on in the last 4 or 5 years and just keep it going. That's impossible.
Yeah, but Jay Wright knows how to win in the tournament, though.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And he's like a Tom Izzo or Coach K. I mean, he can pull his players together and make that little run, you know?
All
right. So what about Oregon? One last team in the South region. Does Oregon have a chance? I know they have a special player. And special players always, have a leg up in a situation like this.
Talking about Bobo, he's sitting.
He's sitting.
I think he's out. Isn't Bobo injured?
I don't think so. I mean, they win the tournament in the Pac-12 or make it to the finals.
They did, but I don't remember him playing. I think he was sitting.
No, he's out for the season.
Yeah, he's done.
Okay.
He's out for the season. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I think he's done.
And maybe not. Look for Purdue. Purdue could be another sleeper in there. They played really well, and they were the co-champions in the Big Ten. And they could be a sleeper too.
So you have in the South Division, who did you pick to go to the Final Four again?
I picked Oregon, but that's before I knew
Bobo was out.
I would say I would go with Purdue.
Interesting. Okay.
All right. One last region. The Midwest, is it?
Yes, it is.
That's what we got left? Okay.
That's North Carolina.
It is
North Carolina 1, Kentucky 2, Houston is number 3,
Kansas
and Kansas 4. Yeah.
Ooh, that's tough.
Oh yeah, it's a lot.
So let me ask you this. Generally speaking, you don't look beyond those top 4 seeds in terms of making it
No.
to the Final Four. Okay. I know. It's fair. I get it.
Buffalo, Belmont, and UCO. I see the Final Four, and Virginia losing. I see 3 of the 4 probably making it to the finals.
Okay. All right. That's fair because I have been seeing now with, the large sample size study where it's been made clear that the getting to the Final Four is always going to be one of those top 4 seeds. It's very rare that someone outside of those top 4 seeds actually goes far enough to make it to the Final Four. So
now, what I'll say this year, having watched more college basketball. I mean, I always watch, but not like I've watched it this year. The top tier teams, the number 1s, the 2s, the 3s, they're really good. Like it's not like there's gonna be a lot of upsets and stuff like this. Yeah, go ahead.
I think Duke, I think Carolina, and I think Gonzaga and Virginia would be the 2 number 1 seeds to be out of not making the Final Four.
Okay. Let me ask you this question real quick. What players are you trying to watch in the tournament, the most exciting players besides Zion Williamson? Like, which players do you want to see?
Virginia's got a player, DeAndre Hunter. He's really good.
Okay.
Virginia Tech's got that Robertson guy. Michigan State's got Case and got Winston. Michigan's got Simpson. Those are basically the ones I'm looking at.
I want to see the Ja Morant show. That's what I want to see. Murray State's going against Marquette. That's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. So Ja Morant versus Marcus Howard. Marcus Howard is a first round, well, I think an early second round projected pick. So he can shoot the lights out. Who do you have winning that Murray State Marquette game? I was kind of conflicted with that. That's back in the West region.
I like Marquette.
Yeah. Okay.
I've seen them play a few games this year, and they're tough.
Okay.
All right.
They can score.
Okay. Who do you think goes to the championship and who wins it?
I look for a fourth time in fourth time between Carolina and Duke.
Carolina Duke. And who pulls it off?
I don't know yet. I have to study more, but I would say probably Carolina.
Okay. So you have Carolina and Duke meeting for a 4th time. This one for all the marbles.
Yeah.
I think you're 8.
That's because that's what the basketball gods want.
All right. Or is it that you're just ACC centric?
And plus, I'm ACC fan anyway. So.
All right, that's cool. All right, Syracuse is going to surprise you though, and it's not going to even be a surprise.
I agree with that because Boeheim is a tournament coach.
They're tournament to a certain degree because they're gimmick.
Yeah, but they're off this year.
They are, but here's how they do, Jeff. They wait. They're a tournament type of team, so they often have seasons where they're fledgling, basically last one in to make it, and then they run off 2-3 wins in the tournament. The reason why they do that is because they are so well versed defensively that it's a shock to teams. I don't care how much you play the zone, you haven't played this zone.
Yeah.
And the reason why his zone is so special is because he recruits to the zone. So you're not going to see many other zones in the country where the backcourt is 6'5" and 6'6".
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. And then the wings, the 2 forwards are 6'8", 6'9", and the guys in the middle are 7, 6'11", with ridiculous wingspans.
Wow,
So
okay.
everyone that he brings into the program, to play defense first. And then when they get into this situation, especially his veterans, they're so good with the zone that unless you are ready to hit 25 3-pointers, you're not going to beat
Y'all
them.
went to the final 8 last year, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a year that
Yeah,
people
they
didn't think
did.
you would do anything.
Right.
So that's why I think they can get out of the first couple
Right.
rounds.
They have much more talent on this team than they had last season. Offensive talent, although it hasn't really panned out.
Yeah.
The talented players are there. They have much more depth in the backcourt, much more depth in the wing. Last year they tried to play 6 guys the whole tournament. They did play 6 guys the whole tournament. Battle and Howard never came out of the game. But now they have 3 point guards they can play. They've got 2 or 3 shooting guards that they can play. Boeheim Jr., he's Buddy Boeheim, not Boeheim Jr. I wonder if he
Right.
was. Actually, he might be junior. I don't know. Anyway, but he's actually very gifted scorer at 6'5", 6'6",
He is.
from the wing.
He
So
can shoot. Yeah.
yeah. This team is deep. They should have had a better season than they didn't. But this is what they're made for. So I expect a couple of wins at least in the tournament.
Yeah.
Let me ask y'all this. Why didn't NC State make it? Because they're in the ACC?
There was talk that it was their schedule, the strength of schedule and the out of conference, games that a lot of other people put on their schedule. They didn't really play like a lot of those early season games that they should have played. You know how people play like
Yeah, but
like
why do you hold that again? I mean, if he, I can see it's sort of like Gonzaga. Gonzaga didn't play anybody, and
Yeah, it's hard to tell, man. I really haven't figured out how the decision making works for the committee, but for whatever reason, they weren't feeling North Carolina
Yeah.
State.
I hate committees.
Who
I
do
hate
you think
committees.
who do you think was a team that got screwed out the most?
Yeah, I mean, you could argue that they just should have gotten in NC State instead of another team, but
TCU didn't make it either, did they?
no.
How many teams made it from the ACC?
7, I think.
Okay, that's less than they're used to. They
I
were
could be
bringing in
wrong.
8 or 9 the last couple seasons.
Yeah, that's because there's probably not as much parity over there right now because they're like I said, the top tier teams like Virginia, North Carolina,
But
Duke,
they have 3 number 1 seeds, the ACC.
yeah, they all battered each other.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right. And Syracuse in
A
that mix too.
team to put on your radar is Auburn. They're playing really well right now, and Bruce Pearl is a tournament coach too.
that's true. That's true.
But I'd say the sleepers to look out for would be Auburn, Buffalo, and UCLA.
There it is. I will tell you this: Northeastern shoots the 3 well. They let them fly.
Okay.
So I was listening. I was listening about hearing about them today, and they don't hesitate to put up 20, 25, 33s a game, and they hit 40% of them. So if they get hot, they can make an upset happen. But they're playing Kansas, so I don't know if they'll be able to do it. But yeah,
See, I don't know. If Carolina could get upset, but it's a tough bracket they're in. Kansas always plays well in the tournament. Kentucky's always around. You know what I mean?
yeah. I think the Midwest region seems to be the hardest one to choose from. You got North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky. Like there's a lot going on there. So that's probably the toughest one for me to guess. But I gotta finish putting my brackets together.
Carolina's got May at center, got White at guard. They can score the lights out, and they got a pretty decent bench too that comes in, I think.
All right.
Let's see. One last question. You know what? Actually, that's it. We're going to actually have to run. All right, Jeff, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you sharing some of your college basketball knowledge with us. It was a pleasure having you on.
Thanks. If I had a chance to look at it more, I would probably be better at it. But I had really had. A chance
don't
to
even.
really
Oh, you were
go
good,
over it,
man.
so I
Don't even
wanted
worry
to.
about that.
You were good. We enjoyed it.
Papa, we might holler at you next Monday to recap the first couple rounds of the tournament. So
Okay, that'd be great. Then I have to be better verse on what's going on.
all right, thanks a lot, Jeff. I appreciate it.